What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Cowboy neighbors, Cowboys fans, Cowboys everywhere, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this day. I just want to be able to talk to you guys. It's been a long time since I just did a natural video without all of the background stuff and all of the graphics and things like that. I just want to talk to you all. Cowboys roster would change 33% of the time, right? 33% of the time, every roster changes or just flat foot out, just be a different type of team. I posted on my Instagram about this, and I talked about a few things on how we can be able to better our best just by off-season moves. And normally, that's just what happened. You know, when you change around the off-season, then you begin to look at things differently. Remember last year around this time, we was looking at it like, okay, who are we going to go out there and get? What the identity of the team is going to be, what the identity of the team should be, things like that, right? So we can sit back and applaud ourselves because we still, 9-7, and then we flew around last year around this time. Then we said, okay, maybe we can win a plus what game if we had Ezekiel Elliott. So we had high hopes, high inspirations, aspirations, however you want to call it and say it. So those were the things that happened. So hopefully, if we look at it from this aspect of it, that, hey, around this time, again, going into the future, looking into the future, that we can be a better team collectively. Let me see if I can do this right here. Appreciate everybody for being part of this thing. Really do, man. I really do, man. Let me see if I can pause it right here. Really do, man. So, shout out to you, man. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let me pull up this little link right here. Thank you all for being in this thing. All right, so what I want to talk about here would be not just the roster changing, but who in the world should we draft first? Should we go with defense or should we go with offense? I'm with the belief you better your best. I'm with the belief whereas you make it just nasty. I'm talking about flat out nasty for the opposition. I love what D-Law can do. I love what Randy Gregory can do. I love what Antoine Barbecue Woods can do. I love what Malik Collins can do. I love what Leighton Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith can do. Let's better the best. Let's make this defense wreak havoc on everyone. Let's punish the opposition. Because I think we are closer to having one of those crazy, I'm talking about crazy, nasty, lights out defense. I'm with that belief. Now, as far as offense wise, the best way I can put this would be, are we closer to being like number one defense overall? Or are we closer to being like number one offense overall? I think that we're closer to being number one, hands down defense overall. So let's just make this defense be the nastiest defense teams have to play and let them circle the calendar and say, man, the Dallas Cowboys, when they come into town, we got to worry about that. Opposed to having upper top 10, top 15 type of defense. I would rather for us to have like that lights out defense, nasty takeaway defense, make your face look like this. Ugh. Get the ugliest face I can find. Let the defense look like this. Every Sunday you looking like this. You know what I mean? I'd rather have our defense to be like that than to better our offense. And then on top of that, if you look at it, the offense, the defense being better would already help out the offense because we already have Ezekiel Elliott. Think about this. If you have Ezekiel Elliott with a shorter field, if you have Dak Prescott with a shorter field, meaning that if we at the 50-yard line, if we get turnovers and takeaways, wouldn't that help out the offense? Let me see who all in the chat box, man. Really appreciate everybody, man. Thank you. Shout out to you, Say Prime Time and Miss Katie. Katie calls it. Appreciate you always with the poems of the hour and the poems of the day. Appreciate all of you all. Shout out to Mr. Truckee. Thank you for the donation to help grow the nation, man. Really appreciate you. Make me wanna groove and dance, boy. Y'all guys ain't ready for that. We should go for Sue or McCoy. Your thoughts? Shout out to you, loving Aries and Daniel Mazza. Should we go with Sue or McCoy if the price is right? I think that we probably have a better chance to going out there and grabbing a McCoy. I think that he needs a change of pace. He want to be able to win games. I think Sue, we already know what he can bring, just dynamics altogether. But to me, just to me personally, give me that McCoy, put him inside, let him work with Malik. Let Antoine Barbecue Woods be a rotational guy. That would work. That would work. Let him be that rotational guy. And that's what I would feel. That's what I would want. I would want somebody that can get out here and be a rotational piece that can help out this team, opposed to letting that rotational guy be the end all be all on your team. If that makes any sense. Was it Jamion said McCoy is staying? He resigning. They resigning him today. Everybody we want to get, they always resign. That's crazy. That is crazy. Well, Sue, what's up, Sue? What's up? Oh, man, what's up, Sue? 33% of the roster going to be changed. This team would not look the same as it relates to heading into the May. Like I said, we don't have a first-round draft pick, but our first-round draft pick looks good. We had him on presentation mode halfway through the season last year. Amari Cooper, man. So let me see if I can pull up this stat. Let me pull up the stat on my phone. I don't have time to pull it up all nice and visual on the display, but let me see if I can pull it up on the phone so you guys can see what I can see, what I have here. And this record, the stat record, where you at? And here we go. Dak Prescott targeting Amari Cooper in 2018, including the playoffs. Completion percentage to 71.3. Passing yards 866. Touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. Passing rate of 120.2. This is Amari Cooper, including the postseason. Dak Prescott to Amari Cooper. This is what I'm reading on my phone. I hope you guys can see it from here. But what that shows and tells me that they did this all like that. I can only imagine if they were able to connect during the offseason up there in Oxnard. So I can say this. We got our first-round draft pick as far as the wide receiver play. We got Amari Cooper. I don't think that anybody coming out of the draft is going to have those type of numbers, right? So we got that in the bag. Now we go out there and find that aggressive, tenacious, crazy defensive guy that we can put out there. And we put that person out there as far as defense. And then with the third-round draft pick, we can go back and help out Ezekiel Elliott with the scat back, with the split running back. I got my eyes set on Alexander Madison. I really want him. Cowboys love Boise State players anyway. Let's go out there and grab him. That will be the 1-2 combination. And since we won the compensatory bowl or what have you, we get 2 fourth-round draft picks, and we can play with that. Or somebody can be with the belief and say, okay, you get rid of your third-round draft pick and you trade up or what have you and use that compensatory pick. You package that together. I think compensatory is not tradable or something like that. But you use the other fourth-round draft pick, and then you move up a little bit. That would work. That would probably work. Travis Banks says Malik is a beast if he can stay healthy. He's a beast, man, if he can stay healthy. So is Sean Lee. He's a beast if he can stay healthy. Speaking of Sean Lee, I want to know you all thoughts. I want to know. I really do. Is Sean Lee is still on his team by the end of next year? Will Sean Lee make that transitioning of being a coach? Can we believe? Can we trust Sean Lee's of the world? Yes, indeed. San the man 213. He called me Billy D. Harden. What's good? Boy, you crazy. Oh man. Everything's good, man. Everything's good. This off season will be good. This off season will be good. It will be one of those things where we have to say to ourselves, it'd be one of those things where we can say to ourselves, man, this off season, if we shore up the defense, we can be one of those teams. I'm telling you. Mike Marto says, take a pay cut, Sean Lee. I don't know, man. Sean Lee, like, look, man, if you guys gonna try to usher me out, I don't know if I'm gonna take the pay cut for you guys to eventually cut me. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try to play this thing out, and I think that I earned something like that to do so. You know, I think that's really Sean Lee's temperament. Hopefully, it's not, but it's just reality of it. Don't diz him, just cut him, and ask for a huge paycheck. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, running back draft with the 3rd round draft pick. Defensive guy with the 2nd round draft pick. We already got our number 1 wide receiver out of the draft. Free agency is still amongst us. We can always talk about Earl Thomas. I think that Earl Thomas would help out this defense collectively. I think that Jeff Heath. No, guys, do not get rid of Jeff Heath. All this week, there's been talks about Jeff Heath is trash and Jeff Heath sucks. Look, he's a rotational guy. Kind of like Antoine Barbecue Woods. We saw how he just disappeared in the playoff, right? Because he's a rotational guy. Shout out to you, Antoine. Don't get mad at me, but it is what it is at this point. You are a rotational guy. That's how it goes. And Kayvon Frazier, is he a starter? No. Do you cut him? No. Kayvon Frazier is one hell of a special teams guy. So you got to look at it from those parameters. Now, Xavier Woods. Hey, I saw something in Xavier Woods. I saw a guy. He can go sideline to sideline, but he looks for the big hit opposed to going after the INT. Law, do you have film on that? Yeah, I do. There's one particular play. I think it was towards I want to say the Seattle Seahawks game. And there were several games before, whereas Byron Jones, who had outside release, what have you, had inside protection. He was playing a boundary tech. He peeled off of his guy, and the deep safety, supposed to be able to just casually roll across there to the edge, to the corner of that end zone, and pick the ball off. But guess what? Xavier Woods was looking for the hit. He was looking for the guy to actually catch the ball and then lay that shoulder in on him. All Xavier Woods got to do is when he sit back, is look and spot a ball and play the ball and not play the receiver and not go for the hit. I think what Earl Thomas do opposed to anybody else is he's short. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but he got range, sideline to sideline speed. If you look up their size or what have you, Earl Thomas not a big old burly guy or what have you, physical safety or what have you, but he plays with that tenacity and he got speed and range, and he always looked like he don't run fast to that corner. But what he would do, instead of that being a completion, that would have been a bat down or an INT. So I think that if we can get a little bit more of that on the back end, and as well as his ability to point out and say, okay, hey, Mike, get a little bit closer to the LOS, widen out your base so that we can fly out to these particular spot of the ball. Those are things that are hitting that he can do, opposed to a guy that's out there learning and trying to pick up the game when everything is going fast. Now, I think that the knowledge aspect of what Earl Thomas can relate over to Xavier Woods would help out tremendously. But I digress. Look, there was another thing that I was want to talk about would be okay the Landon Collins situation versus that. And I know I talked about this earlier on another stream. The Landon Collins versus the Earl Thomas. Landon is a better Kayvon Frazier box safety. They can play inside. You don't want him out in space, and you don't want him being your single high safety because you will get used and abused out there. They will destroy him. So it's always good to have a rangy safety that can sit at the top of the key or sit at the top of your defense and let people know where to go. Now, I love what Landon Collins can do. I love what he can bring out there to the table. But he's just going to be a better Kayvon Frazier, a guy that can play inside the box, put him closer to the LOS, and he also can do all types of crazy things as it relates to blitz, making him be the quote unquote extra linebacker on certain plays and keys and things like that. That's what I would look at it from a Landon Collins. But we got that already out of Kayvon Frazier. It's just that he plays at a less intensity as a Landon Collins. All right, so let me see who else we have out here in the chat box, man. I really appreciate you all for tuning in to this thing on a beautiful Saturday, as you guys can see out here in the wonderful land of Texas. Looks good outside today. Looks good outside. Steven says, who is going to take Cole Beasley's spot if we lose him? That's a good question. That's a dog good question. Cole Beasley is the most underrated slot receiver that's in the game as of today. He is the MVP of the wide receiver outside of Amari Cooper. I have to say that. I have to put that out there into the atmosphere. All right, so if we so happen to lose that particular weapon, and we don't want to lose it, but it probably be coming down to money. Cole Beasley already said that he want to be able to get paid like the high slot receivers out there. And if we look at it, the guy, this would probably be his last contract. Look, it happens. I already did an episode about it, and I compared his numbers to Julian Edelman. And Julian, he's not getting paid. He getting paid peanuts, right? He didn't want that bag. He didn't want all that money. The guy, Danny Amendola, he wanted the money. So the Patriots said, you know what? We'll take you down there. We'll get rid of you. And he went to the Miami Dolphins. Played well enough. I believe he didn't play well enough, but they said he played well enough for, I think that they gave them a third-round compensatory draft pick or what have you. That's how life goes, right? So they didn't want to pay him the money. He left. He went to the Miami Dolphins. He got that bag, and plus, in return, the New England Patriots got a third-round draft pick. So I would do this. We know for sure that Dak Prescott is not the best passer of the ball. Can anybody agree with me on that? Can anybody agree with me? Do anybody disagree? Because we want to be able to say that, right? He's not the best passer of the ball, but so that means his target is radius is not going to be the greatest, right? So what we got to look at collectively, if they do decide to move on from from Cole Beasley, who will be a better target for him? I would say a taller receiver. A guy who can run the short area quickness real quick, run inside, who can play inside block, can get off his jam and release, and also get skinny, get small, and get upfield. Is Cedric Wilson that guy? Cedric is an outside guy who plays better outside, but also plays better with a free release. So during this whole offseason, if they can squeeze Cedric Wilson into the inside, let him work his magic into the inside, see what type of route combination he can do from there. Remember, Cedric Wilson is a more polished route runner than, dare I say, of a Michael Gallup. He's more polished in his route running, especially at the top of his route and through the stem. He gives you more deceptive looks. And then one can argue the fact that Cedric Wilson is slightly faster than a Michael Gallup. That's what the film say. So if you put that guy out there and you can see his growth, then we won't even have this Cole Beasley conversation. But our only reservation will be, can Cedric Wilson play it to the inside? If they try to jam him, of course, you can move him out and this sort of thing. But Cedric is more so of an outside guy. Gallup, starting off last year, was more of an inside guy. So, I don't know. If you go into the draft and you go get a Debo, or if you find a way to find a DK Metcalf, if you so happen to fall in the third round and you so happen to get lucky to pick him up, which would be crazy in a sense, you can put a bigger bite of little Jordan Humphreys if he so happened to be in the draft and he so happened to fall. Maybe a bigger target. You can slide him into the inside. That would be the goal. This is all speculation, but the team will have to make some crazy decisions and crazy moves to make that happen. That's just the reality of everything. Just Dab, what's up, man? Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Miss Jackie. Thank you. We need a tight end that can rely on. He really missed Jason Witten. Yeah. If you look at what Jason Witten can do, right? He was a guy that was able to just get you those small short end yards, right? I look at it from this aspect. And somebody mentioned Jace. Just Dab mentioned Jace Sternberger. All right, let's look at this tight end situation. If you get rid of Cole Beasley and you save a few dollars, whatever it may be, I don't know the cap space you would save or lose, what have you. I don't know for sure. I haven't looked that up, and I'm not gonna get out here and lie to you guys to kick it. But if you get rid of that, that's a void in space, right? There's a reliable target that you removed from Dak Prescott. All right? And if you go out there and get a Jay Sternberger, who I believe low-key is so underrated, everybody high on these other tight ends out here, like the Irv Smiths of the world and the T.J. Hawkinsons and the other guy from Iowa, Fant or whatever, Nolan Fant. Everybody high on those guys, but watch how Jace is coming to this league. Gig him. He's going to come into this league and just be one of those guys that we are saying, man, where did he come from? Why didn't people have him high on their boards, you know? Yeah, so Jace is a guy that I see that got the soft hands, deceptive speed. He can be an inline blocker guy. He can line up on the outside. He turns his hips, got good hip flex. I think that the style of what Jason Sternberger played would fit the Cowboys so much. And he's a faster Jason Witten. At the end of the day, you look at him, and his hands are so soft, man. If you guys don't know who he is, just type in Jay Sternberger and just don't do the highlight deal. Do they got complete games on some of the YouTubes, and watch how he flows through the system. Now, as far as blocking, I think that he'll work on that a little bit better. But you get him into this NFL locker room and NFL tape, I think that he will blossom to a nice tight end. And then you pair him up with a Blake Jarwin. You can go back to your 12 personnel look. I think that with a Jace and a Blake Jarwin, that creates so much of crazy athleticism with your tight end play that it will help out Dak Prescott. Now, a lot of people say, do you kick the can on Rico? What you would do in Rico's situation is that it's still free money with Rico. You allow Rico to know that, hey, during this offseason, this will be a hard situation for you, but you're going to have to compete now. It'll be 4 tight ends coming into the mix. I would go ahead and fold my bet up on Jeff Swain, and I would go with the younger team. I would go with the Rico. This is just me. This is just my opinion. I would go with the Rico, the Schultz, the Swain. No, I'm saying Swain. The Jarwin, and then whoever we draft. And I'll say, hey, fight. If you want to play with the silver and blue, you want to have this Cowboy stuff on your chest, then you fight for that position. That's what I would go with. All off season, you will figure out who will be your starting tight end, who will be your end line, you're just block guy. I think that they're not going to fold up on Schultz. So, Schultz got his way in there, and that's what I would do. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Who else we got? Sternberger is underrated. This is from Zach Nation. Yeah, he's so underrated, man. So underrated. Devin Smith will be a free agent for a reason. Oh, Devin Smith was a free agent for a reason. He's fast though. He's fast, but he's injury. He's an injury guy. So hopefully, we can figure out how he can stay healthy, and maybe he can be like one of these off-season camp heroes. We already know that Terrence Williams is gone. There's a big reservation on Lance. And there's a big reservation on the other kid, Noah Brown. I think that the Cowboys are saying to themselves, if they can't turn it around for this year, then bye-bye Lance. And that's my boy, number 14, and then bye-bye Noah Brown. Noah Brown need to figure out how he can get down out there on the field. And that's just the bottom line. Let's see. Dallas may go off of Tyler Eifert, Polo. I don't know. Rico could be good in the red zone. This is from Keenan Rucker. I agree. Yeah, Rico could be that guy, right? You think Noah Brown makes the transition to tight end? Mike Marto. That's been the questioning of the hour. Will Noah Brown make the transitioning over to tight end? Mr. Truckee says, bye Lance, like players, like player club. Let's talk about this Noah Brown. Let's talk about this. Andrew Castillo says, before I talk about Noah Brown, Jay Sternberger needs to improve on blocking, but will open up the middle of the field, no doubt. Andrew Castillo. Because I'm gonna talk about Noah Brown opposed to to Jay Sternberger, Andrew. But before I go into it, how many blockers do we really need? We got Rico. We saw Rico improve on his blocking, right? We saw that Rico blocked pretty well towards the latter part of the year. He did. But we already know Schultz can block. Schultz can block, but he can't run routes like the Jay Sternberger or the quote-unquote Blake Jarwin. So it's like a conundrum, basically. You got a guy that can block, but he can't run routes, and you got a guy that can run routes, but he can't block well. All right, so not everybody gonna be able to block out of this world. Noah Brown, he can block, but he don't have the tight end height rise. What he's like 6'2", 6'1", 6'1", 6'2". Not being generous. So he don't have that 6'5", 6'6" height that you can say to yourself that's a high catch radius. Now, he can jump out of a building. I can say that with my guy, Noah Brown. Making that transition over to blocking as it relates to tight end. Now, can Noah Brown, number 85, line up on inline? Now, will he be that guy that can pick up what all of the nuances that is required of a tight end as it relates to being able to line up in the backfield as the H-back, and at times also being able to understand, okay, this is when I need to curl my route, and this is when I need to shorten my route, because Noah Brown, as it relates to a route runner, is not the crispiest, sharpest route runner out there. He's more of a 50-50. He is a poor man's quote-unquote Dez Bryant to me that can block well. He don't have the long speed. He's not as fast as we would say of a Blake Jarwin as it relates to running routes. So that would be the conundrum piece. And then on top of that, when he entered in the game and he lined up inside, everybody will be like, hey, run. They'll be already saying that it's going to be run pro formation there. So I don't know if you want to tip your scale or tip your hand off to what a Noah Brown can do out there in the field. So I don't want us to, and then trust me, all last year when you saw Noah Brown line up into the backfield or line up regardless, everybody was yelling out, "Run, run, run." That's what the defense was calling. And then that one pass that it kind of faked it a little bit, and he was able to be open. Someone said that, okay, Dak Prescott should have led him a little bit better, and that could have been a touchdown for him, but it ended up being an INT. It was a playoff game. I mean, you can win so much only through gadget plays and gadget players out there. We need to do this before we enter in the regular season. I believe that the offseason sets up for the regular season, and the regular season sets up, this is all success, sets up for the postseason. I don't want to hear Dak Prescott saying this statement, and I know it was so PC when he had the interview with Michael Vick. He's saying that we learned and we established our identity midway through the season. Cowboy Nation, if we want to make it farther than what we made it for this year, we have to already know what our identity is now, starting into the offseason. Understand what is our identity. Our identity would be, if we are a run-first team, then be that run-first team, but also sprinkle in things that make teams think and say, okay, with the play action, they're killing us, they're gashing us with the run, the play action open up, the pass, what have you, and then you gash them across the middle, across the side, or what have you. So if we need to establish our identity from there, then do that. But I think that we can better our best by improving this defense, giving us a short, small field, and then this team would just be blossom. Our goal is to get over 21 points a game. I really think that this team can do that. Hey, we were doing it in 2017 before the Atlanta Falcons game. We was averaging 28 points a game. I think with that type of philosophy, being balanced, and then also with a better defense, we will be one of those teams that can go far into the playoff. How do you guys feel about that? TA says Teddy Bridgewater. I'm of the belief. I'm of the belief with you, TA, of bringing in a veteran quarterback. I love what Mike White can do. I love what Cooper Rush can do. But bring in that veteran quarterback that can help out Dak Prescott, put a little pressure under his you-know-what, and then also that'll help out this team tremendously, because now if a quarterback, so happens to knock on wood, goes down, we know for sure that we have a veteran presence out there. Bring in a veteran quarterback presence. That will be nice for the Cowboys. And it don't have to be Teddy Bridgewater. It could be anybody, veteran-wise, that knows this offense. They can pick up this offense like that. Styles Stick. If Jason Garrett is still our head coach, we won't be all that much different. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we'll still be different as it relates to the overall collective roster. I know that Jason Garrett always get the hate stuff, and trust me, I'm not the biggest fan of Jason Garrett. But I believe in my little small heart and mind that with the Kelly Moores of the world, it's going to be different. I think with the second year of Chris Richard telling the DBs and the linebackers what to do, there's going to be difference in those aspects and those parameters. Guys, that's all the time that I have for right now. I really appreciate you all. I didn't plan to go this long, but I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Yesterday, I think I made a mistake. I said Dak Prescott, Tony Romo, he only had one win in the December, and somebody corrected me. It was like 11 or 15 in the December, towards the latter part of his December runs, and I was just trying to just go off the top of my dome. So I apologize for that. Hey, I make mistakes all the time, especially when you're live and nothing being pre-recorded. So I make tons of mistakes all the time. I'm not perfect, and I love the mistakes because it makes you better down the line. I've never professed to be like this guy that knows everything. And look how wrong man cutting grass outside. Look how wrong I was on Leighton Vander Esch. I was very wrong on him. So hopefully I can be wrong on this second round draft pick, whoever we go out there and get, and they have the same type of year that Leighton Vander Esch had, So hopefully I'm wrong again, whoever we draft. But still, in Will McClay, I trust, and Will McClay, we all trust. So let's get this thing going one way or another. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Punch that like button. Let's see. You see how you when you're boxing, baby. When you punch that target, pull back, yeah. Boy, y'all ain't ready for these hands though, right? So punch that like button, subscribe to this page, pluck that notification bell. I'm gonna say again, pluck that notification bell, and you guys probably see me around. I'm supposed to be going by where am I supposed to go today? IKEA? No. What's that place? Nebraska Furniture in Dallas. Yeah, Nebraska Furniture. That's where I'll be at today. So hope I see you all out there if you guys are in the Dallas area. Hit me up there, okay? Peace. Salute. Yeah, baby. Nebraska Furniture all day, every day, right?